Hello, my name is Kevin Barry and welcome to our latest webinar, which is how to get paid on time and save thousands. I know you're taking time out of your day to register and log on to our webinar today, but if there's one thing that gets you up in the morning, it's owing money, and it's the one thing that people hate going to sleep at night thinking of is owing money. So getting paid is certainly the biggest expense or complaint we hear from business owners all of the time these days, and we put together the following presentation, which is certainly very successful at reducing the problem. It is a huge problem getting paid in Ireland and beyond Ireland, and it can be avoided, it can be minimised, and it certainly shouldn't be the major part of your day. So we'll look at ways to sort that out. Okay. Little intro about myself. I'm a chartered accountant. I've been running a business here for 10 plus years, more years than I care to remember. The other businesses we have a taxi company, we have a rental company, we advise on various different types of business, retail, wholesale, manufacturing for years. On my website, www.kevinbarry.ie, which I'll go to now for a second. There are various testimonials from my clients, and essentially we aim to help business owners make money and collect it and not be worrying about collecting money. But on this website, if you click around there, you'll find, especially under services, you will find different comments from genuine clients about what we did for them. So there's a few points here there. But we've had our hiccups. I was involved in a serious accident about 5 years ago, put me out of business for 2 years and cost me a lot financially, so, and personally and emotionally. But anyway, we're back in business now, so good to be here. But we'll push on with the webinar and with the main points that we want to deal with. So let's moving swiftly on. I'm just looking at my item there. Yeah, I won the award last year, which was great. These are the areas we'll cover in the next 40 minutes. A lot of the problem can be avoided simply by communication. So we have there training the client and your own people. It all starts with the top person. If the business goes under, the owner is blamed. When somebody is hired, the owner is responsible. When a client is accepted or lost, generally it's the owner who's responsible really when you look beyond it. So the owner takes the hit or the credit depending on what's going. We want to look at what can be done with salespeople, where they fit in. They are key to every business. A hotelier asked me years ago what's the most important part of business. I answered him at the time, it's having targets and knowing where you're going business-wise. He disagreed, and he felt marketing was the most important thing. I now agree with him. Marketing is the most important thing, but you never get away from knowing how much you're spending, whether somebody comes in the door or not. So that's your break-even point. If no one walks in the door, it's costing you money. So you need to know how much you need to sell to cover your costs and then to push on and make profits. If you make profits, you pay off your loans, you pay off your debts, you put money aside for retirement. So those are the areas that are obvious when they're said to people, but sometimes you get lost in just trying to collect cash to stay afloat. And that's what we're trying to minimize this today. Now, ways to make it easy for people to pay you. Okay, it's a major one. Wow factors, we'll zone in on that in a little while, and bad debts. How you can collect them, what's out there, is it worthwhile going after them? So that's the point. A few questions from me for you, just to think about it. I hit it off there with a quote from Robert Frost. People always think of Robert Frost as Kennedy's favourite poet, but if you Google the guy and Robert Frost quotes, he's got incredible quotes, such as a diplomat is a person who remembers a lady's age. Got it backwards. A person who remembers a lady's birthday, but not her age. That's a diplomat. Here is one which is very accurate. It's often said to people, if you work 8 hours a day, you might live to become the boss and work 12 hours a day. Now, there's nothing exciting in that, but that is the reality, I'd say, in 90% of the times. So to come straight down to it, if you're struggling to collect money, or collecting money is your biggest hassle in the week, you're probably under financial pressure. And it's hard to think straight when you're under financial pressure. I come across it all the time. People make wrong decisions because they can't think straight, and the reason they can't think straight is because people are phoning, writing to them, threatening them, all to do with money. And there's a statistic in the States, that in the US of A in the States, that 80% of people go to bed at night worrying about money. They wake up in the morning worrying about money, and they worry about it throughout the day. So it's not the place to be, and it's no way to live your life. So don't think you're alone. Okay, just a few little points before you get into the nitty-gritty. Just on wealth, if I asked you to state on a scale of 1 to 10, how wealthy are you? Just do it right now. And now, I don't have a poll up there, but I'd say if I did, most people have 6 or 7. And they're thinking of money, I'd say, nearly in all those cases. I see there's 30 plus people in the webinar here at the moment. But if I ask you to throw in your health, the health of your kids and your spouse, and depending on how their health is going, hopefully it's going very well. When you think about that, and the people who are close to you, and friends, genuine friends, and now I say define your wealth, the figure's probably gone up a couple of places. So wealth isn't about money alone, it's about many other things. So, but certainly not having money pressures frees up your mind to contribute more to society. So there you are. So we'll push on, but just the very last point there is it takes a plan, and it takes a bit of help such as coaching to get you over the line. So you would be astonished at the amount of businesses and non-businesses that employ coaches now to help them achieve their goals either in life, in business or beyond. Think about it. I can recommend plenty of good ones. These are quotes we hear all the time. I'll say, how is business going? What's your biggest challenge this week or this month or this year? And the excuses I'm deliberately using that word I hear is people just won't pay. Now they will pay, but anyway, this is what we hear back. The fact that the banks won't lend. It was never that easy to get money off banks. It was easier, but not that easy. They always wanted IDs and accounts and P60s and maybe copies of contracts and 6 months worth of bank statements. And okay, they might have signed up and things a little bit quicker, which made it easier, but they always were going to be looking for their money back. And the fact they're not lending means they've got burned so many times. It might be their own fault, it might not be. They never answer my calls or refer to customers there, another excuse we hear. There's no money in the post today, what's wrong with the postman? And business is quiet generally. I've got 10 clients plus who have made fortunes since the recession began. Nothing to do with the recession, it's got to do with how they organised their business as it came in. So we'll touch on some of it here, but just to say, don't blame the recession for everything, or the banks, or the economy, or the Europeans. Okay, it starts with you. The important thing is to think about your business. Are you the type of business that the good or service is paid for in advance or on delivery? And if it is, you need to have a payment system that's very clear to people that that's the way you operate. And once there's a rule there and you stand by it, it will work. Does everyone who works for you know it? Do some people who deliver goods say, sure, I'll send you the bill again? Or there's no rush with that? Or if a discount is asked for, the discount is immediately taken without any thought for how much of a discount? Does everybody in your organisation give the same answer? Such as, I want to buy that car off you, what are the payment terms? And that everyone has the same answer, round off. You don't have to memorize this stuff. It can be in a place that's easily found. It can be on the business card, on the invoice, on the side of the car, on the front of the computer, on the internet website, which people can have a look at their iPhone. I've got one here beside me, and just look it up, So the point is, everyone needs to know it. It needs to be thought up in the first place, written down, and everyone needs to see it. But what suits your business? What suits a pub or a restaurant won't suit a factory exporting to mainland Europe. 2 different scenes. It won't suit a professional practice like an engineer, will have different payment terms. He may want a retainer, he may want something at a certain stage, he or she may want something on completion. Dentist is different to a bus driver. Okay, so what works for the business? And a lot of it comes down to how quick you have to pay your suppliers. Wages have to be paid every month or every week. They aren't going to wait. The tax man might need to be paid every month or every week. The ESB, which is the electricity, might need to be paid that quickly also. So you need to set up an appropriate payment term that suits you. Okay. This is a typical system that we'd be used to seeing anyway. When the product is sold, be it something from the local hardware store, it might be sold and paid for with a credit card right there, or there may be credit terms. The same could be if you're exporting or you're importing of someone else, they would set out their terms to you. But effectively, when the product is sold or the service is delivered, the invoice would follow. It would be the typical situation whereby collecting cash is the problem. It could be the builder building the house, he gives the invoice and he waits for the drawdown from the bank before he sees his payment. But if you're paid on delivery, collecting cash isn't the problem, so you're not on this webinar, I expect. But effectively, this is a system that works, I'd say, in speeding up 80% of the slow payers. You sell it, whatever it is, good or service, okay, and then you invoice immediately with the agreed terms. Now the important point there is agreed terms. That is what is talked about before you start, such as I am going to sell you my accountancy services. We will come back with the budget, the fee, and 5 different ways that people can pay us. I'll just go to my own website, which normally I wouldn't bother with that much, but simply because I prefer to show other websites. But if you're on Ryanair, you know what the terms are. They want the credit card now. Yeah, there's one straight off. If you're borrowing money from the bank, they want to be paid back, and they'll say monthly, it might be an amount down to cover legal fees, but effectively they expect you to pay monthly payments over the year. It might be the same every month, or it might be more at certain times of the year. And I'm just scrolling down there to see where I have, and I can't find it. Isn't that amazing? I send everyone else to it. Oh, sorry, I have it now. It's sorry for the slight delay. Okay, it's on the wrong page that time. And it is, here it is, fixed fees. And here we have 6 terms. Some of it is there's a discount if you pay within 10 days. Okay, I'll talk about discounts in a little while. They can pay over 4 months with a standing order at 0% interest. Over 11 months at 6% interest because we have a finance plan with a local bank. Or they don't pay at all and we will withdraw the work. Or if they're unhappy with us, we'll give all the money back and say, forget it, move on, life is too short. But either way, there is options there that do work. Okay. Okay, just come back to my presentation again. And okay, we're going to push on there. So either way, the agreed terms need to be agreed up front when people walk in the door, phone up, ring or write to you. Have your terms ready to go and what works. Okay, now if they're meant to pay in 30 days or they don't avail of the early payment discount, okay, that's fine. But before the payment is due, phone up and say, how is it going? Is everything still in order that we did for you? Hopefully it is. And if it is, payment's due in about 3 days, is there anything you need from me to make sure that the payment comes through and you avail of your discount? Or the payment comes through and you don't run into a situation by we're struggling? Please tell me if there's a problem. Now I'll talk about in a moment who should make that call, but effectively if the money doesn't come in on time, follow up on 30 days or less, not over 30 days, with a statement. Months later, if it's still not in, another statement, and then with a phone call to say, is there a problem, would you like me to call out? Stay in contact, okay? Now if there is a problem, you deal with it then, but effectively the system should be invoice, phone up before payment is due, statement, owner phone calls, or the person who's going to protect, number one, the relationship, and number two, the client kind of wanting to pay you. You don't want to burn any bridges until you're paid at least, okay? So there's a little point. And I'll tell you why chasing money is an absolute, complete and utter waste of time. It's the biggest waste of time I see in Irish business, English business, any business, American business, all the time. 50% of every business owner right now should be spending that 50% of time marketing, not searching for money or worrying about money or fretting about where is the next customer or paycheck going to come from. Okay, but here's just a quick summary of the invisible costs. Frustration, worry, anger. Okay, this eats you up inside. It means you can miss a good client who rings up, walks by, emails you, runs into you at a conference or networking event, but you'll miss an opportunity with this frustration. So you don't need it. You need to get out of it, and it's costing you. Believe me, it is costing you. It also takes away the positive thought of just running your business and driving the staff onwards in a positive fashion in a way that they'll enjoy. Say you employ someone to collect the money. Now here I come down to who collects it, a credit controller. A credit controller is only interested in getting money in because that's their job. Okay, that's fine. The person who really should be making sure the money comes in is the person who negotiated the sale. 2 or 3 reasons. Number one, they will understand the buying motive of the customer. Second one is they'll already have a relationship with that customer that suits you. Okay, now you might be the person making the call because you're the salesman, but if you're not, you've got one of your people doing it. But don't let it go to a credit controller who's going to be aggressive, threatening. They might try and do a deal, but all they're interested in is the money. They're not interested in the client satisfaction or retaining the client or getting a referral from the client. 90% of all new business tends to come from the word of mouth referral. So if you annoy someone, it's a case of that they're not going to refer business to you. Now, if they're a bad payer in the first place, you shouldn't have taken them on in the first place. And that's where your agreed terms, conditions, your documents come together, your credit checks, a couple of business references, you know what the word is on the street. Effectively, that will stand towards you if you do the background. But if someone isn't worth doing business with, don't do business with them. Now, we all make mistakes, so you should learn from those mistakes, okay? But chasing money, yeah, I'm just looking at what you think the cost is. You might think it's the credit controller and the salaries of people designated to work in getting in the money. But even yourself, what it eats up, worrying about it, getting annoyed, getting mad, getting frustrated, and by the time the money comes in, then you've probably lost the customer and the good has gone out of the cash. So, but there's a few more there, registered letters, because all the statements aren't being paid heed to. You've hired a solicitor to write an aggressive letter to say we're going to stick you in court. You then go to court, another few thousand, and then they talk their way out of it or don't show up. You've wasted a further, you have to pay a solicitor. And let's say they show up, they might have a story for the judge, which the judge believes, and that's fine, but it still doesn't get you paid. So all the while, you've no money in the bank, you're in overdraft, and bank interest is racking up a further cost that you forgot about. Okay, and the lack of discount, I mean, giving discounts can cost you money too, so even if you do a settlement, you've lost on the whole deal. But learn from the mistakes, but you don't want to get into the chasing money game. You want to prevent it happening in the first place. Okay? Salespeople, key people, okay? If you can't sell, you can't bring in money. If you can't bring in money, you can't pay yourself, nor can you pay the people who work for you, nor can you pay your other suppliers. But the salespeople, generally, you need to keep reins on these people, that they know the minimum maximum they can go to, that if discount terms or bulk purchase terms are being spoken about, what the parameters are, such as, if you buy 25 houses off me, that's one that I haven't heard of in a while, what is the discount, and what is that based on, versus buying, say, 15? Or if you're going to do a huge amount of work because you're an engineer, designing a new I've got a bridge in my head for some reason. I associate engineers with bridges. If they're designing a new bridge and it's a big job going to take 2 years, what the payments terms are, that on certain parts of the job being completed, they will bill accordingly, and payment is within a certain time frame after that. Okay, but essentially the sales people who are negotiating the sale should be the ones who negotiate the payment. Definitely, no exception. Don't let it go to the credit controllers. Credit controllers, you don't want them in the place. It just means you're bad at collecting cash. Okay, that's really it in a nutshell. So any credit controller who's on this webinar right now, I'm sorry, but hopefully you're a dying breed, but unfortunately, you probably aren't. Make it easy for yourself to pay. Now this is huge. Don't say we only accept cash or check. That is the traditional system. It's like the county councils of this world, cash or check. What's wrong with credit cards? What's wrong with financing plans? AIB, Bank of Ireland, KBC Bank, Ulster Bank love doing leases or other finance plans based on your goods and products. So manufacturer or car salesman or an equipment salesman such as a printer, he'll say, if you buy this off me, here is an option on how you can pay me. and they'll have the financing plan ready. It just needs you to pass the credit check. So hopefully that's okay. Even with credit cards, and let's talk about websites for a moment. I'm just going to go to another website for you, which is, as I look to see where it is here. You know, PayPal is what eBay works off, and the credit card charges a slight bit higher than, oh, that's not the one, that's a real estate, it's relexpayments.com, but Relex is a bit cheaper, relexpayments.com. Page not found, but we're nearly there. But your website will keep you open 24 hours a day, and a website is no good to you unless it brings in business, okay? And that is it in a nutshell. Let me just get this, relexpayments.com, that's it, yeah. So I'm just going to get that. And whether you've got PayPal or whether you've got Relex or whether you have, there's Relex now, and Ireland's #1 online payment service provider. That should be on your website. If people want to buy something off you or pay a deposit or make a down payment or make a completion payment, make it easy. Don't let it be the case they have to phone you when you're there on your landline, and then when you answer that phone, you then have to look for a buyer around the place, and by the time you find a buyer, they're really getting fed up now. They're trying to pay you, and the credit card they give you, you know, should be a matter of they can do it themselves in their time zone. When you wake up in the morning, there's money waiting for you. So PayPal.com or relexpayments.com will do the job, and there's nothing new about these things. Alternatively, if that doesn't work because they're not credit card people, set up a standing order. Set up a direct debit system. Now, direct debit means you take the money out of their account, okay? Or you're grabbing it. Standing order is they're giving it to you. But it's, let's go to PayPal. See, oh, PayPal couldn't be found either. Isn't that amazing? What can't be found all of a sudden? And I see why. So just a little typing error. But it should be a case that you're getting paid quicker than the next guy. Now with PayPal or Relex, you've got to qualify to be a customer of theirs. They'll give you an authorization number. You can put the link on your website and say to people, if you want to pay me, click on here and put in your credit card details, and the money comes through to you less a small charge of 4 or 5%. And that is effectively how that works. Now if you're given a discount, now I'm anti-discount. Okay, the only time you give a discount is if people pay you exceptionally quick. You don't give it because 3 months after you give them the good or service, or 6 months later, they walk in and say, I'm here to pay you and I want a discount. Who are they kidding? You know, they're slow payers, they haven't come near you in months, they've probably ignored your calls, ignored your statements, and now that they're coming in out of the goodness of their heart to pay you, they want a discount. Do not give it. If you give it, you're giving in to bully tactics. The word will go around, and any other good customer will be an idiot to pay you. If they could get away with not paying you for months and then still get a discount, there may be a bigger discount. So don't fall for that. But effectively, whether you get a retainer of people or if you give a discount that doesn't cost you the same as the value the customer receives. Now I'll give you an example of that. If you're selling a suit and people say, yeah, I'm buying the suit is 300 or 400 euros. So perhaps rather than give a discount, you give them a shirt that's retailing for 30 euros, but you bought it for 5. Now they've got a 30 euro shirt, but it only cost you 5. You get the point. Or you give someone a voucher for the restaurant across the street that is a client of yours. The voucher could be for 50 euros, but you have a deal with the business owner there that every 50 euro voucher he'll charge you 30 euros for it. Okay, so the value is 50, but the cost is only 30. And you have a reciprocal arrangement because they'll send you business back over the street. So don't get caught in the discounts. And on my blog, which is growthaccountants.com, if you search under the term discounts, I've got a good little webinar on this, okay? growthaccountants.com. So I click it on there so you can see it, and as usual, it didn't come up. I don't know why that didn't come up there. Growthaccountants.com. Everything is struggling at the moment for some reason, and but it is there anyway. Growthaccountants.com. So to prove it to you, yeah, growthaccountants.com. What the heck happened to that? Okay, and something not spelled right. And magic will be up there, it is. So here, there's a little search situation here somewhere. I use it all the time. And that's got to do with insolvency, but yeah, there it is. Discounts. Okay. Let's just have a quick look over there. CIS. I can't find it right now. Isn't that amazing? But I will put it on there in a few minutes. Seems to have disappeared. Not to worry. Maybe it's overuse. But effectively, what you want is you don't want to give a discount of €100 because it's costing you €100 of your profit. If you give a discount of €100, it should only be costing you €50. Okay. So, but you get the point there about the shirt. Okay, give a discount that doesn't cost you the same as the value. All right, but effectively, be easy to pay. Be open 24/7 for collecting money. Have your terms agreed up front. If you can get money up, if you can get paid up front, such as a retainer, take it and do a better overall price. If it's a case of people pay you exceptionally quick, such as within 10 days or on completion, give them a discount or a voucher for something else. But you know, getting paid quick gets the money into your bank fast. It keeps down the cost of chasing money. It keeps down the overdraft interest and bank interest. And if you're not chasing money, you're driving the business forward. Okay, so there's your point. This is a huge one. Why pay you at all? I mean, are you to a penny? You know, do people need you? Such as I heard about a diving centre lately, and business was very quiet because it's a discretionary spend, such as going horse riding on a Saturday afternoon, golfing. If people don't really need you, they might spend money with you. Okay, so you need to make yourself needed. So whether it's health supplements you sell, or it's a service that the government require from people, such as tax returns, or it's a medical service you provide, you need to make yourself important so that people want to spend money with you. Okay, so look at your competition, see how they market themselves, and have a close look at what you guarantee. So if you guarantee, you know, great clothes that will wash and wash and wash and will last 12 months, guarantee it. If that's what you guarantee. It's easy to guarantee what you provide anyway, but just don't say it. It's important to say what you guarantee. Such as here in our business, we guarantee to give you your fees back if you're unhappy with our service. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. Another alarm company says if you allow us to install the alarm and there's a break-in within the first 12 months, we'll pay the first €1,000 of the cost of that break-in. Okay, so there's one for you. There's a few more like that. I'm just going to see. Okay, the third thing is if you followed, you know, a newspaper that I saw that was doing this, to say if you allow them to design your advert, they'll guarantee you a minimum of 3 genuine inquiries, or else your money back. So there you are. So instead of you doing an advert that says this should bring in business, let the newspaper design it according to your budget. They'll guarantee a minimum of 3 inquiries the way they'll design it. So what's wrong with that? But have a guarantee. Nothing wrong with it. Don't worry. The door isn't going to burst open and people aren't going to charge in saying, I want my money back, or I want a sale or return. So what? Keep the customer. Blockbuster Video, you know what they do with their guarantee. Anyone who owed them late fees of over $100, I'm going back here about 5 years ago, they said, we're giving an amnesty. You don't owe us anything. They got all those customers back overnight. Okay? So the guarantee was clean slate. Okay? Chasing bad debts. Now it's going to get worse. I'll tell you why it's going to get worse. This new Insolvency Act, loads of people are broke, they're unsecured, and what I mean by unsecured is they owe money, but people don't have a hold on them. Their house isn't put up, or if it is, the bank already have it. But effectively, once in their lifetime, they can claim what is a debt relief certificate. There's 3 different ways they can go. They can claim bankruptcy is another way. But effectively, they'll be walking on debts. A lot of it will happen because a lot of people are insolvent. This is a way out. It's a start again. But if someone doesn't pay you, you might have to do the same thing to the person behind you. So if you're waiting for €200 to come in and it doesn't come in, so you've got to turn around and say, God, I can't pay you now either. So it's a chain reaction. Okay, so just be aware that this is the Insolvency Act. It's all about leverage. It's all about the best time to get paid is when people need you. Okay, so such as when they want to book into your hotel room, get paid up front or have their credit card number or whatever it is. Don't be waiting for the morning for them to come down and pay you for the first time, and then the complaints start and they're looking for discounts, or they're not going to pay at all, or let's talk to the police. You know yourself. You know, you agree the terms up front, and you make a point that you're sorted out financially up front, whether you're paid or whether you've got their credit card. That's pre-authorized. Pre-authorization costs nothing, but it's certainly peace of mind that the credit card will go through the next morning. Okay. So now the big benefit is, it's funny, when people got out of being owed money, the big thing was they were demanding discounts. They would call their supplier and say, I am buying X amount of stationery off you, I've always paid on 30 days, I want to pay you on delivery now. What discount terms are you prepared to negotiate on? Nice way of asking for a discount. Nice way of asking for a discount. But it's easy to do it if you've money in the bank. And it's funny, the mindset changes. When you're in overdraft, it's almost like breathing. You're used to it. It's a natural thing. When you come out of overdraft, you get jealous about the money that's in that bank. You don't want to see it going out of there, so you mind it. Okay? So every euro that gets in against the overdraft is making you that little bit richer because it's reducing your debt. So certainly get there. That's a lot of it, right? But you've got to change your approach. Don't be fooled by thinking that if you're owed a lot of money right now, that by phoning up a bit quicker will change everything. You need a whole new approach. You need to go back over this webinar again and look at some of the points I've made there. Agreeing terms up front in a place where everyone can see them. Now, if it's in a garage where you fix cars, it's stuck up on the wall what the payment terms are. Whether it's a service, whether it's a body work, whether it's a whole new engine. For instance, if it's no credit, it's no credit. Get a credit card number though, or at least you have the car. But every guy and girl there should know the car does not leave unless the payment has been sorted out. Before the payment's even sorted out, give an indication of what the price is going to be, or agree the price, or agree the range of the price. Say it will not exceed €3,000, it will not exceed €100. At least have those parameters set and put in writing, because that's fine. People know the worst it's going to be and what will cause it to be the worst. So for instance, if a new carburetor is required, it's going to be €500. If it isn't, it's going to be €200. Nothing wrong with that. And we want payment before you collect the car. You can give us a credit card now if you like, or else don't give it to us. Give it to the guy down the street and owe him money. Okay? So, but a new approach is going to be needed, and you need to train the people working from you on implementing it. And when it comes to collecting money, collect it in a way that the customer isn't offended. And the customer won't be offended if you're doing a great service and providing a great product, which you guarantee on other fronts, okay? But a new approach is needed. So right now, write down these thoughts. Here's a big one. The amount of customers I know that have been in business forever and don't know who their customers are is astonishing, okay? It's a matter of that. There should be one place, whether it's a book, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, or whether it's their accounting program, or whether it's the mobile phone, back to the iPhone again. But you should have a list of who your customers are and their contact details. Email or mobile phone number is enough. Don't really need their name and address in this day and age. But if you have it, get it, or if you can get it, do get it. Because some people just won't operate with emails and that. Rank them. A, B, C, D. A mean awesome. Awesome is they're great customers, they buy off you in good quantities, they pay you promptly, and they don't complain. Okay, that's probably an awesome customer. You want more of them. Okay, then B are best intentioned. They could be awesome, but there's always something messing up. They're slow to pay you, or they always don't order correctly in the first place. And because they don't order correctly, don't get exactly what they wanted. And because they don't get exactly what they wanted, there's a little bit of sorting out to be doing, time wasting and phone calls back and over and collection and deliveries or whatever it is. But you've got to put procedures in place to make that better. The C is you can afford to lose them. Okay, they're not great, they're a bit lackadaisical, their checks bounce, and they're hard work. They don't buy that much off you. You know they buy off your competitors too. When they owe them too much, they now start buying off you. So you can afford to lose them. But if you can afford to lose them, get rid of them and concentrate on making the B's A's and getting more of the A's. Whether it's word of mouth referrals, that's a whole other webinar, okay? And D are dead customers. You haven't seen them in ages. Any customer you haven't seen in 90 days should get a postcard or an email or a call or phone call from you saying, hi, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. Would you like to come in and have a cup of coffee and look at our new range of curtains? Okay? But rank them, okay? And let your staff know the ranking, and get the staff's opinion on the ranking. Because what you might consider an A might not be an A. It could be just a cranky person is A class in everything they do, but they're just not good people persons, Have different terms. If they're A, these are the terms you'll get from us. If you're a B, this are the terms you'll get from us. Make it worthwhile for the B people to become A's, or the C people to become B's, and eventually A's. Have different terms for different levels of quality of clients. Get your guarantee up there on a banner, have a big flag outside the door, such as Southwest Airlines. We guarantee outrageous service. What's wrong with that? That's a great old guarantee. These are super things. We start looking around today at various guarantees and ask, what is your guarantee? Put yourself in the customer's shoes. Why would you buy from you? Go outside the door and look back. Say, would I buy from me? It's like this film I saw lately, Birders, where the builder's wife hired the competing builder because at least he would turn up. Her husband would never turn up and fix the house. Okay? It's funny to think about. Real story here. We're nearly finished now. I'm looking at our time, and I see loads of questions here coming in. But if I don't get back to you on this webinar with them, I'll email you directly, okay? But here was Bill and Maureen, and these are people who were based in the Midlands, and they ran a bathroom centre. The bathroom centre was going great for years, but they were always owed a lot of money, and they always were in and out of overdraft, but normally in overdraft. They would buy a lot of stock in, they would sell it, and wait to get paid for it. They had to wait for drawdowns from banks, and they had to wait for the customer to get it installed and test it. There was lots of stuff. They wanted their own installation people to do it, or the customer wanted their installation. But effectively, they were married, like a lot of people are. They had kids, like a lot of people do. They had a home mortgage, like a lot of people have. And there just wasn't enough money left over at the end of every week or month to give them a comfortable living. There was one or other of them stuck in the business all the time. They had no visa machine. They had one till, and they used to close half days on Mondays. I don't know why Mondays come into it. It was kind of a builder thing. They open on Saturdays, but no one was really shopping that much on Saturdays. It was window shopping, if anything. They had no real cash flow. They couldn't go away. And the billing, there was a lot of cash clients, but they'd be billing out 2,000 a month on average that wasn't getting paid. So every month, whatever they billed out, could be 10,000, could be 50,000. It wasn't all getting paid, and it was building up. So they had 80,000 owed to them, and they were in overdraft for 60,000. And we always kept saying, if you get in the money they were owed, they'd be fine. Okay, so that's where they were. Following our involvement, it didn't happen overnight, it took about 6 months, and this is what happened. We ran to the customers, or they ran to the customers, and their staff ran to the customers, and we got rid of all the ones that were C's. The D's, we wrote to them, just told them we were still alive, but we kept in touch with everybody, but we just didn't deal with C people anymore. It just wasn't worth it, we couldn't get paid out of them. Anyone who owed them over 90 days, we did, if you pay us the next 30 days, this is all we want from you, okay, just to finish off with them, rather than waste our time sticking them in court. They were all dribs and drabs, and that was 500 to 5,000. I would say 50% off if you pay us in the next 2 weeks, or else it's gone to a debt collection agency, and that got in 80% of it. The last 20% went to debt collection agencies. I'll talk about them in a second, but effectively we got rid of them, and then we concentrated on the C's and D's. Sorry, that's what they did. I was on the wrong item there. They got an Availing machine or Relax. They set up a website. They set up payment terms. But the big one was they brought in a guarantee. They said, if you buy from us and when you want it installed, we'll install it within 7 days of that date. Okay, and if we don't, it's for free. Okay, now they always got it done in 7 days. No bathroom went for free. You know, but the housewife or the lady or the husband knew that when he wanted the bathroom in, if he ordered it on a Monday, it was in before the following Monday. No problem. It's all about time management. Another webinar for another day. But effectively, they guaranteed they would install it. Okay, so it wouldn't be installed by someone who didn't know the product, and the installation cost was involved in the price. That was the first thing. Money and payment terms were always agreed. Everything was pre-agreed. Credit cards, standing orders. That was all done and sorted out before this. Okay, but now we've got outrageous service, or we've got wow factor. Okay, they trained the salesmen in cash negotiations. The salesman knew exactly when that bathroom was going in, and if there was a discount price or a favourable price negotiated before it was installed, the salesman would be told a week ahead of time that bathroom is going into the Kennedy's house next Monday. The salesman would make sure the money is all collected by next Monday. The salesman would check the house, make sure everything was ready for the installation. There'd be no hold-ups, and the money would change hands, or the credit card would be debited, or the bank account would be debited, or whatever. But it wasn't the case that bathrooms were going out, being installed, being broken by unfamiliar installation guys, but it would be installed. Okay, and it would work as well. If anyone wanted to know about the payment terms, conditions, it was on the website, and they would again pull out their iPhone or look it up and say, that's how we want to get paid. There's 5 or 6 options there. Pick the one that suits you best right now at this time. Okay? And it comes back to the customer list. They stayed in complete contact with customers throughout the year, whether it was an email, a website, a flyer, a Christmas card. They just kept in front of people, because word of mouth referrals are priceless. You could break yourself spending money on advertising, be it radio or newspapers or whatever you want. You want word of mouth referrals. So at least when those customers were questioned, where did you get your bathroom, it would rhyme straight back off their mouth, as opposed to, God, I can't remember where we got it, whether this place or that place. You want to stay in contact. We even found out they got credit for installing bathrooms that they never installed at all, because these were now the bathroom people. Anyway, I'll go back to where we were. The aftermath was here. Got rid of the messers, overdraft gone, money in the bank, time for each other. Focusing on the business going forward, you know, and looking at their business plan and bringing it home. So, there you are. I typed these in while this was on, but there was 2 major ones. The credit controller, someone must have typed that in after this had started, and I'd finished my rant about credit controllers. They are prolonging the problem. If you're a credit controller, you're recognizing the fact that people aren't paying on time, instead of dealing with the fact that you want people to pay on time. This is, we'll let people become late and then we'll chase them. You don't want a credit controller. You don't want people owing you money. You want to have good credit terms, and you want to be able to pull the rug out from under them. So if they're not going to pay, they fool you that you can take back your product, be it reservation of title or whatever. So debt write-downs, why not? Only with C&D people. If it's a write-down, they're never doing business with you again. You don't have to lie awake at night over it. It shouldn't be that many people. But don't go giving huge discounts to people who are going to come back to you next year looking for the service and expect the same discount again following 2 years of not paying you. Don't get into that. It's pointless. Okay, so that's that. And lastly, what I'd say to you now is look at this webinar again. This will be emailed to you. Have a look through it, take your notes. You've probably taken a few already, and contact me if you have any questions or you want to help in any aspect. But effectively, getting paid is easy when you set it up correctly. Not getting paid is a disease, and it will stay with you until you cure it. So I'd like to thank you for coming on. I'm not sure if you can see me. Ooh, there I am. Hello. I was talking all this time. I didn't have this up straight away, but thanks for logging on, and make sure you get paid and do a great service and do a great guarantee. Thanks very much. See you soon.